Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Dream Lifestyles. And I'm so excited. We have another special announcement here. I'm here with Alexa Caballo and Felicia Beltran, and I'm going to let Alexa do the honors here.
So, guys, we're so excited. We are all coming back together. Now we have Felicia from Colorado that's joining the party. We're all aligned. Felicia, welcome not only to the podcast, but to energy. Do you feel it?
I'm feeling some big energy over here. It's nice to be back with everybody. It's nice to have this opportunity, and I'm so excited.
Yay. So, tell us, what are you so excited about? What prompted kind of where have we been and where are we going?
Well, I've been doing pretty much the same. I'm a mom first, so, taking care of the kids. My youngest son is off to college, so that was a transition getting him to CU Boulder. And he just completed his first year, which is super exciting. Straight A's, might I add. And then, of course, all my other kids are doing amazing things. My daughter is the only one that's living with me, so that's still a full-time job. But I've really taken up with leadership here in Colorado. I am currently the RRC president for Colorado. And I think that leadership stepping into this role has really expanded, my growth skills. And it's been really nice. I've leaned into it. And I think it's done a lot for, keeping me motivated and engaged with the people of Colorado, with the agents, try and I'm just motivated to do more. So this move comes at a perfect time for me. I feel very inspired. And of course, it's always nice to do, big moves with big people and my besties like you.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited for us to be back together again. It took a minute, really. It took a minute for us to get back together. And that was hard for us to separate and go our separate ways for what was best for us at the time. And I love that it's brought us all full circle back around again here at ENRG Realty. We're all in a different place, right? Like, Alexa, you're opening Connecticut along with your mom, Cheryl, who's the Connecticut state broker, and I'm here in North Carolina really just, spearheading this entire initiative from really day one. So yeah, I mean, it's great. I can't wait for the opportunity. And I know how growth minded we all are. I know how inspiring we all are, not only to each other, but to other agents out there that are maybe looking for a sense of community, a sense of purpose, and some collaboration with some like-minded individuals. So I think that's something that we also bring to the table.
I
Yeah, and I
think in
think
this business, if you're not challenged, you're really kind of, hanging out and doing the same old, same old. And that can be dangerous, for someone's career and for their business because you become a little bit complacent. I've seen it in periods of my career where it's just, I fall into the same routine. I think stepping up into opportunities like this really helps you to stay focused and grounded, and it's challenging. And I think that most of us are type A individuals, and we need that to keep us moving up and moving on.
Mhm.
I agree. And I think that it's such a powerful thing that we are through different states and throughout the nation, really. And sometimes, I don't know about you guys, but I don't like really being the big fish around, like I like to collaborate with like-minded people. And sometimes that requires connecting with those that are outside of, let's say, your normal location that you typically, work and play. So I'm just so grateful that we've been able to not only maintain our friendships and our relationship with each other, but also continue to grow and to elevate and to move towards a direction where we can share continued vision. And what I love is that I think that the three of us, we've always been true to ourselves and what's aligned with us and what's aligned with, the vision for the future. And also through different moves, like we always put the relationship first. Like, and the same to be said about anyone that we're talking with. We want people to do what's best for them. It just happens to be that birds of a feather flock together. And sometimes it may not happen overnight, but it can happen over, you know, several months or sometimes several years based on what's happening in someone's life or business. But I think it's so telling on how the law of attraction and how we're able to come back together. And I think that we're going to really continue to magnify what we're building and what we're sharing, and then be able to attract more like-minded individuals in our states, but then also beyond. So really excited about that opportunity for growth.
And going back to that, I mean, I think that there have been several opportunities where, we've had to have conversations with each other and said, you know what, that sounds great for you, but for me, in this time in my life, it's just not going to work. And I think that that's really the true test of friendship, is when you have to, have those candid conversations and just say, you know what, I would love to go on this journey for you, but it's just not for me. And you know what? I wish you well. That's what friendship is. And there's so many that we have in this business that, they stretch near and wide across, the country, and even, internationally. And I think that that's a beautiful thing when you can do that and you have grace and you have respect for each other.
100%. Yeah. We haven't, there was other opportunities that came along, and, some of us said yes, some of us said no, and we're all still here to support each other. And that's what I love. First and foremost, it's about people and it's about each other's journey. Right. And so unfortunately, there are people in this business that when you move on, they don't wish you well. And they all of a sudden, you were their best friend when you were making the money, and then you're not, the next day, because they have no use for you anymore. And to me, that is just not that's not like-minded. That's not growth driven. And that's not what we are, right? Like, we've always been, for the most part, surrounding ourselves with people that wish us well, that want to know what we're doing, that know that respect our decisions, and know that we wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't a really great opportunity, right? And you have to do what is right for you at that time in your life. And I think everything just aligned. I'm just, so blessed that I found this opportunity at the right time, and that we're all here as early adopters, and we're able to, like Alexa said, put our fingerprints all over it, and really just full speed ahead. We've got a ton of runway to run with, and I couldn't be more excited than to be doing it alongside you girls. I think back to, years ago when we had our ski trip in Breckenridge together, when we were all out there and we were having so much fun, and, building our downline with our previous company. And we've got so much opportunity to do that again here. And I'm just thrilled. I love you girls.
It's crazy to think, that we were all, traveling and speaking, with Ricky Caruth and Juan Barrenetche. And, those are beautiful, beautiful moments that I think, really solidified those friendships. And I don't think they're going anywhere. But going back to what you said about support and, wanting better for your friends and in their business, I think that that's the culture that we have. And I think that's the culture that will carry forward. And I think that's really what is going to entice people, because in my opinion, I think that that's what's been lost in these real estate brokerages. I think that we went from brick and mortar, we went to the cloud-based brokerages, and in between, there's been this gap of culture and community that agents have needed and wanted that has not been present. So I'm excited to create that and to be able to pull agents that are, struggling, with their business. Maybe they were rock stars and they just kind of fell off. Maybe it's a confidence thing. Maybe they just didn't have the support that they needed. Maybe they made a move to a brokerage that didn't work for them and didn't give them the tools that they needed to be successful. And we get to bring them into the fold and just kind of fill those holes. I think that's an amazing thing to do.
And you said something about confidence too. And I, as I have a coaching program now. And when people come to me for their one-on-one sessions, one of the biggest things they come to me with is confidence. It's, that all leads into getting more business and more leads. But I think, what I'm finding is that people are lacking significance. They're lacking confidence to be able to make the changes, whether that be putting themselves on video on social media, whether it be picking up the phone and cold calling, or going to a networking event to meet more people, because they're just not confident in that setting. And that's hard to do that's hard to build that. I think everybody should have a mentor, and everybody should have a community of people, like-minded individuals like we do, but not everybody has that. And we forget, because we're so used to that really being on a high level, that there are so many people out there struggling in silence that just are really this close to giving up in their real estate career, because number one, they don't feel good about their business. A lot of them feel very lost and not supported, and they're not around people that are uplifting and helping them grow, not only as an individual, but as a real estate agent. So I think that sense of culture and community is so important, especially when you have a cloud-based brokerage, to maintain that.
Okay, so I'm so glad you said that, because that's a perfect segue. So for me, I'm most excited about the opportunity to collaborate with people that get me excited and inspired to take action. So you two have always been those people for me in my personal life, in my business life, but now to have this like platform where we can do that, not only amongst ourselves and have a collective vision, but then also to be able to do that and to fold more people into what we're doing, I think is just going to be so tremendously impactful to so many of the realtors that are out there saying, like, been doing that. This is how I felt. Been doing the same old. All is well, but just just moving along. And now just feeling so inspired. There's new, fresh energy, right? There's new, fresh direction. We're on the edge of creation. We're the early adopters. So for anyone that's out there that's listening, that really is someone that is a driver, a builder, a visionary. You could take this as far as you want to take this. You could take this within your state. You could take this throughout the nation, international, whatever your vision is. Or if you're a top producing realtor, or someone that wants to strive to be a top producing realtor, we're here to also support that energy as well. So just know that energy is transferable. 1 + 1 is 11. We're here to blow this all up together in the best way possible. So I'm so excited and grateful for you two and for everyone else that's going to come aboard.
I love Alexa. She always has the best quotes, and it's not gimmicky. It's really inspiring. I'm looking at her and I'm like, damn, she always says the right thing. But I love it because that's just how we balance each other out. I mean, I was fortunate enough to have dinner with Peter and Erinn Nobel, and I have to tell you that that was pretty magical because it was very quaint and intimate and very personal. And when I was listening to them, because I'm pretty skeptical, I don't make moves unless, they're very thought out. And we're talking, and, when they start talking about all the things that I had been feeling like I was missing in my business, in my brokerage, I thought to myself, this is something that I can get on board with. And then I still took time to think about it, and I'm very hesitant in doing that. But once I make a decision, I'm an all or nothing type of chick. Once I make a decision, I'm full throttle. Let's go. And ENRG, I think, is the perfect name for this brokerage.
Mhm.
I agree. Full send.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so jealous, Felicia, that you got to have dinner with them. That's so awesome.
Me too. But I'm also just so happy for you. Like that's an amazing
Exactly.
experience.
It's not a jealousy, it's a happy for you, but it's like, man, that's something that,
Amazing.
I'd love to sit and have dinner with them and just pick their ear on a different level in the sense of just, collaboration and just talking more about the future trajectory of this company. And Dawn, who's one of our agents in Washington, had the pleasure of meeting Erinn for lunch. And she said it was just so inspiring. And it just really solidified why she made this decision to come to this company. And that's, I think, how we all feel. Erinn and Peter text me, at least, weekly, every other day, I'm getting a text from one of them for something. And they're not that typical CEO, COO type of stigma that you would think, the untouchable, right? They're here to collaborate, work with us. They're welcoming to our input, which I love. I mean, we're all here to be able to make suggestions, form this company together as a whole, and really build that awesome community that I think ENRG is already shaping up to be.
I was going to say real quick, I think what this speaks to is leadership. So each and every one of us, wherever you are in your leadership journey, know that you are a leader to yourself, right? Your clients, let's say if you have a family, your community. So just know that if any of this sounds like out of reach, it's really not. And remember that if you surround yourself with other people that are already doing what you want to be doing, it's that much faster that you're able to get to where you want to go. So just know that whatever you're envisioning is possible with the right leadership.
Well, that's exactly what I was going to say. Leadership is so important. I mean, I think that we've all learned that there's good and bad leadership, right? And you're going to mirror and mimic your leadership. So when you get in front of, two incredible leaders like Peter and Erinn, and you see their heart and you hear their passion for helping agents, I'm sorry, but that's kind of gone by the wayside. I think that there's just, and they're not here to disrupt. They're here to inspire. They're here to encourage. They're here to support. And they really want to do things differently. And they don't want to do things, just for the sake of bodies. And I thought when they said that to me, it really was impactful. I felt like it was genuine and very authentic. And for me, that's everything. That's how I if you want to say judge people, I want to know, are they showing me their true selves, and their true intentions?
Mhm. Yeah, leadership is not a title. Leadership is showing up every single day, even when you don't want to. And that doesn't always mean at work. It means with your friends, with your community, with your family, with your clients, as you said. Leadership is doing things for the greater good of other people and being consistent, showing up when you don't want to, and really just providing value without expecting anything in return. And I think, the titles to me, I know there was a time where I was like, oh, my next step in this career is the big title, right? I don't care about that now because it's more so who am I aligned with? Where is this headed, right? Who am I aligned with? Where is this headed? And what is my ability to not only empower others to grow, but to grow as an individual? You can give anybody a leadership title, but if there's no value that comes with that, it really is going to lose its luster very quickly, and that person is going to feel a little bit lost. And I think we've seen that at some of the other companies. They just throw titles around, and unfortunately, it doesn't mean much, and it just leads to burnout and kind of a lost feeling.
I agree. I think that leadership is something that you don't need the title. Just show up for people, show up for yourself, right? And then the title will come. I mean, that's been my entire leadership journey. I've never, yeah, there's certain things that I've had envisioned for myself and, but mostly it's just the want and the willingness to show up and to serve and having an interest in, the industry, the curiosity. And then the titles do come. So I think there's just so much opportunity here as we're growing energy really from the ground up. So we're
I
looking for
think if you
you.
if
We're
you if
looking
you
for
do
you if you're
things for the
listening.
yeah, but if you do things for the title and you're not ready for it, you're
Mhm.
going to pay a price,
Yep.
because you have to be ready to step into those leadership positions, and you have to be willing to be focused and, really give a lot of your own personal life. And I think that that's really where I'm at right now. I think that I'm more focused than I've ever been before.
Mhm.
And I just can't wait to ramp up and do this with all of you.
Yay.
100%. I'm so excited to be working with you guys. For those of you listening, if you're looking to make a change in your real estate career and you're just curious about the possibilities here at Energy and where this could take you in your career, even in your life, and you want to align with other individuals that are full of good energy and really just going to be taking the nation by storm, reach out to one of us that you're seeing this on our channel or on our social media. Reach out to any of us, and we're here to help you elevate and help you step out of your comfort zone and achieve greatness.
And achieve your dream lifestyle, more
Yeah.
importantly.
Yes.
Love it.
Awesome. Well, thank you, everyone. Until next time. Bye.
Thank you.